Hi folks, this is International Master Bindi Cheng with you once again, and we're going to do another live cast today. And this time, instead of the friend that I've did the past two times, I'm going to have another friend of mine play on 5-minute pool. Like last time, I'm a bit late because I sort of screwed up the timing again, which is kind of weird, and never did make two mistakes in a row like this. But okay, let's get started then. E4, C5, Knight 3. My friend's handed, by the way, and he's playing Firespitter in 5-minute pool. This game's a bit weaker than before, but that's just because of the random draw. So E4, C5, Knight 3, Knight C6, D4, C takes, Knight takes D4, E5, Knight B5. Okay, this is called the Kalashnikov. Kalashnikov is because of E5, Knight B5, D6. The Sveshnikov is with the Knight F6 and Knight C3 line. So this is a bit different, and basically the idea is to control D5 square for white, and for black is to control the D4 square. So the first thing that black does is goes for bishop G5, try and take away this bishop so the D4 square will become open, and white here just let him take on E3. Now this might look like a bad idea because it weakens the pawn structure, it makes this double pawn, but the idea of taking back with the pawn on that E3 is that now it controls D4 and F4. So it controls, allows white to control the central squares better, and also prevents black from getting his knight to D4. So now we're going to go forward a bit, and knight D5, bishop takes, E takes D5. This is pretty standard. Okay, so we've arrived at the position that they are currently playing now. So we fast forward a bit, and we got there. So at this position, black's idea is to play for F5, and white pretty much has to stop that, because if he doesn't stop that, then black's just going to push his pawns in really fast, and it's going to be really hard to stop in the future. And basically everything that white's doing is preventing F5. For example, if black plays F5 here, then white can actually take on F5. After G takes F5, then bishop takes F5 is possible because of the pin on the rook. Pin on the knight, I mean. So therefore black doesn't play F5 right away, and instead plays Queen H4, which is a very interesting move, because basically black wanted to play Knight F6 and Queen H4 and H5. H5 is a basic key idea in this line, but I don't think H5 is possible here, because if black plays H5 here, then white can actually either play G5, stopping F5 forever, because then white can play G takes F5 en passant. I mean G takes F6 en passant. So unfortunately black cannot play H5 right away, but he's going to prepare that in some time. So now let's see what's going to happen here. Let's carefully. White still has to stop F5, and right now I think black actually has an option of playing F5 here. The F5 is basically a big strategic threat for black. For white, usually you have to go for the queen side, but he didn't really move his pawns in any shape, way, or form. So white really has to just play defensive the whole time, because basically whoever can play F5 and whoever can stop F5, that's how will most likely win. So not much happening right now. It's surprisingly peaceful, because someone's giving me a challenge. I should probably decline this challenge, because usually what happens is a lot of times 5-minute games go really fast, and it's really hard to keep up with everything that's going on. But so far nothing major has happened. Black's still trying to play F5, and the reason that he can play F5 right away is because after G takes F5, the pin on knight, so forcing black to play knight takes F5, which is something that black doesn't want to do. Oh, okay, so G5, F5. So basically white took the idea of stopping F5 forever, but now after black playing F5, he has to en passant it. So after white en passant the pawn on F5, black plays knight takes F6, and now F5 is no longer the key idea. I think the most important note here would probably be black getting E4 in some shape, way, or form, and getting the knight to E5. Although that's not exactly a forced plan either. So black wants to go into an endgame, train up the queens and the rooks. I'm not quite sure if that's a good idea, because it seems like white's queenside play can be really fast if black allows him to go for that. But in this case, there's really not much that black can actually do to force a queen trade. I mean, the only thing that black can do here is just trade rooks. Yep, rook takes, or bishop takes actually, and rook f8. Or white can actually take on c8 if he wants to, but I don't think that's such a good idea. Like, that seems to be very risky. And okay, he didn't go for that, so he just took there. He took there. Now king g2, and black's position's pretty passive, but it's okay for now because white doesn't have any attacking chances and forcing queen trades. Okay, no queen trades. Okay, so king knight 5 is knight h4 check. So I really hope white sees this move, because if he loses because of knight h4 check, that would be really embarrassing. Good, he did not get caught by that. So now, by the way, the reason black played queen e7 is because white was trying to play e4, basically pinning the knight against the queen. Okay, so now he takes there, he takes there. Okay, so for some reason, black actually got the pawn at f5. After all, it's kind of late, so it doesn't make too much of a difference. Although, in this case, those passed pawns can help black to move forward. So now they went for a queen trade. So now this is completely endgame material. I would say black probably has a slight advantage. I'm not quite sure if it's winning, because these pawns are pretty forward, but there really is no way that black can push forward without sacking one of these pawns. For example, what white wants to use, one wants to put to knight to b1, c3, and e2, controlling f4 and d4. Black has to get the knight to h5, I would say, so he can play f5, f4 check, or knight to g6 to play f4 check. Okay, or he can just check right away, and there we go. He sacked the pawn, and now he has a pass pawn e4, which is very, very strong. Knight d2 might not be so good, but I think that f4 check might actually be really strong, because it seems like the knight on d2 has nowhere to go, because knight f1 and f2. I mean e3, and now threatening e2. So now white has to play knight h2. Yep, knight h2, e2, and king f2. Black can be a bit tricky here and check him f5 first. Actually, knight f5 check first, king g2, and then knight d, and then e2. e2 first. I'm not quite so sure about this, because now white has the option of playing knight f3 and knight e1, basically forcing some sort of a perpetual. But okay, so white's going to have to put his knight on e1, and black is going to have to check the king on e4 in order to move the knight from e1. It's kind of a long-term plan, but basically he wants to put his knight to e4. That's the key thing here. Knight h4 is possible, but obviously white's not going to take it, so he's going to go back. But I think black has a won position right now, because there's nothing that white can do, because his pawns are too well, I guess white does have c5 in some shape, way, or form. So c5 is definitely a possible move at some case. And h5, I'm not quite sure about h5, because now it's like, yeah, b4, and he's going to go for c5. I think that playing h5 is kind of a wasted move, because black really has to move fast in this line. Okay, so knight e7. Oh, so b5. Okay, so now you can play c5. So now takes on d6. Okay, so it looks like it's gonna be draw, because I don't really see a way for black to break through here. Oh, I see. Knight e4, king e3. Okay, my bad. Knight takes d6. Oh boy, my bad. So he loses both pawns, and oh, so oh, that's not. I don't think that's so good. I think you should. But okay, but this is time pressure zone, so I can sort of forgive them for making mistakes like this. But most likely it's going to be a flag once again, and I'm just not going to talk here. Oh, okay, so that was a very exciting finish. So apparently, you got the queen, and black flagged white. That was surprising, seeing as white had a bit more time. And my friend said still too slow. I'm going to say, unfortunately, yes. that was too bad. You know, it was a very interesting game, and I'm gonna go for this very fast, quickly. This is the Kalashnikov again. Pawn e3 controls d4 and f4, and basically the whole game plan was playing for f5. And after he got f5 in, they started trading some stuff off, and this endgame was very I think black had a slight edge, but really I was surprised that white lost this. But that move b5 was actually very good. I was surprised at how strong this is, because after I thought c5 and getting 2 passed pawns, I thought that was going to be very strong. I think the move that could have happened here was probably knight d3 maybe, but yeah, b5 was actually surprisingly strong. Didn't really see that happening, and there was just time trouble here, so they just played really fast. And black flagged white with a queen. So yeah, that's it for today's game, and I hope you guys enjoy this as much as I have. And my friend said bad knight maneuver was winning, I think. I really have no idea. I'm probably gonna check this game with Fritz or Houdini afterwards to see if he's right. But yeah, that was it. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye, folks.